What's up guys, welcome back to another video. You join me out today with my MJX 10208. Today I'm out testing some new upgrades on the car. I've got some new wheels and tyres. These are MX28 style wheels and tyres that I've purchased from AliExpress. It's slightly bigger than the standard tyres. I think these are 130mm diameter. Nice looking wheel, and they do come with adapters for 12mm hex and 14mm hex. I've also fitted some new shocks on the car. Now, if you're familiar with the 10208, it can be quite bouncy when you're doing jumps, and I decided to get some new shocks basically to try and sort of see if I can dial this in a bit better to land a bit smoother. So I've gone for the aluminium upgrade shocks from Sirius RC. Nice looking shock, all aluminium, including the rod ends, which is nice. Plastic rod ends can be a weak link and tend to break sometimes when you're jumping, so having an aluminium rod end I think is a nice addition. One thing I did notice though with these new shocks is that they need really thick oil. They come with 1000 CST, which is quite thick for shocks anyway, but with that supplied oil they had very little damping, and the reason is because the pistons that come in these shocks are a little bit undersized, and it allows the oil to flow around the outside of the piston. So to get around that, I've ended up using 8000 CST, which is differential oil, but it works quite well. So it is thick oil, but interesting to see how we get on doing jumps. I mean, this sort of drop test, yeah, it lands quite nicely doing that, but you know, that would be a very small jump, wouldn't it? So let's see how it handles bigger jumps. But yeah, let's give it a run and see how it goes. One other thing I forgot to mention, so this car is a version 1, and I've fitted the version 2 lower arms, which are slightly wider. I think they're about 10mm wider, so wider arms with the matching CVDs and dog bones, just to give it a slightly wider stance. The shocks seem to be working pretty well. I think maybe need a little bit more dampening. One thing I've started to notice, oh, that went well. One thing I've started to notice with this car, I'm sure some of you have also picked up on it, everything's so flexible, but that includes the suspension as well. So when you've got thick oil in your shocks, and stiff springs, you watch that shock tower flexing, and yeah, that's probably good for durability, but I feel like that is part of the reason that these cars struggle with bounce, even after messing around with different oils. I think this flexibility, it's not letting the shocks work and do their job properly. That's just my thoughts. So that might be something I think we're going to look at, especially on this one. I know you can get the alloy shock towers, so I'm probably going to try that as my next upgrade on this car. I've owned this car for over 6 months now, and it's been really, really durable. This front flip. The only thing that broke on this car, and that's the reason I've changed the wheels, is that the wheels crack. The wheels have got, I think the tyres have foam in the original wheels and tyres. I think there is foam in there, but it's too soft. You squeeze the tyre and you basically, like, you do a jump, you can just imagine all that force going onto the plastic wheel, and that's why they crack. These tyres that I've got on now, they've got quite nice foaming. So yeah, the car seems to be struggling to backflip on these wheels and tyres. I don't think it's to do with these wheels and tyres. I think the issue is that don't normally use this battery. These are small 2000 milliamp 4S batteries, and I suspect that these don't have enough oomph to get this car flipping around in the air. Normally I use the CNHL 5000 milliamp 4S backs. I mean, these are good for their size, but this battery is definitely undersized to power this car. This car's got quite a lot of weight to it, and that is the reason that I was trying these batteries today, to try and save some weight from the car, just to take a little bit of load off these shocks to see if it landed any better like this. So if you add more weight, you need more dampening. It lands okay on these, but I think this battery is a bit undersized and underpowered for this car. It's definitely not got the air control that it normally has. So the next time I'm out with this car, I will use the 5000 milliamp 4S pack and see what difference it makes. I know it's faster on the bigger battery, so that's probably the reason. But we'll do some more jumps anyway. I've got another battery to run. We'll give it a go. Something that I did when I fitted these new shocks, you can maybe see there, I fitted some silicone bump stops, and that was quite important. The standard shocks do have bump stops, but they're plastic, and these are softer and sort of a bit squishy. The reason that I've put them on is, one, when the car bottoms out, it hits the bump stops before the chassis slaps down, which adds a bit of extra cushion. And the other reason is, when the suspension compresses, people have reported that the CVD there, if you've got too much upward travel, the CVD shaft can hit the differential cup, and people have snapped their diff cups, and I think that's probably the reason why. So bump stops, and like I say, these are silicone, so they do squash down, which is, that helps, I think, with controlling the slap on the chassis as well. Hey, we got a backflip. We get a little bit of bounce there on the landing, but not too bad. Yeah, it's pretty good. I think once I put that bigger battery in, the heavier battery, we'll see what the difference is. So good. These cars are, I love to wheelie on 4S. Oh, still going. Yeah, for the money, I think these are probably, in my opinion, there ain't a lot that's going to beat this for the money. I know the MT10 is definitely a wicked basher, but they're still, what, about 300 quid. This was £180, and I've seen them go for 150 quid, brand new, on AliExpress. I don't think you can really argue with that. Like I say, this car, other than changing the shocks, I've put the V2 arms on. Yeah, as I was saying, I think for the money, there isn't anything better than these. That's my opinion. That's like I say, over 6 months of bashing. Nothing's broke for me. Oh, that was a nice one. See what I mean though? I mean, yeah, probably something will eventually break, but the amount of like abuse this car's had, it just keeps going. Oh, nearly. Whoa. So yeah, with a little bit of tuning with the shocks, these can be pretty good to jump. I know I'm not getting massive air here, but enough to do. Oops. It's a bit top heavy now. By fitting the V2 arms and these shocks, taller tyres, it's got a bit more ride height now and a bit more shock travel, but it does make it a bit more prone to rolling over. But it is a monster truck, so what do you expect? I'm definitely more of a monster truck kind of person than truggies. There goes the body.
We've got some shots, didn't we? Yeah.
Okay, so it's a different day and we're running the 5000 milliamp 4S battery. So this battery is heavier. To compensate for running the heavier battery, I did put thicker oil in the shocks compared to yesterday. Was using 8000 CST oil. Now I've got 10,000 in the rear. The reason that I've done that is because of that extra weight from this battery. It was going to cause the suspension to bottom out easier. I'm hoping that the thicker oil will make it land a bit smoother. It was still bouncing a little bit on that smaller battery, so it would have only been worse. Still kicking up the back a little bit.
Perfect.
Oh. That was a bit delayed. That was definitely delayed. Just keep going for that one more jump, don't we? That's a new one. That's part of the hinge retainer on the rear. Just sheared it off. Okay, that brings us to the end of the video. The MJX has taken a beating. The body's looking a bit battered. Damaged the rear hinge pin. Well, hinge pin holder I should say. So, a couple of repairs to do. Can't really grumble. It's took 8 months of abuse. This is really the first thing we've broken other than the cracking the wheels.